Hey everyone. Welcome back to another of my class. Good to have you all here. Today we will be going over our weekly market outlook, and we'll just review some pairs, review some potential trading opportunities, with certain things we discussed from our last class, and I will see how what we can or what I am actually expecting or anticipating from the market, and how we might be able to take advantage of that. So to begin, let's just quickly jump and look at the economic calendar for the week. Today is Monday, November the 13th, right? And basically this is the calendar for the week. Okay, so today there's basically no news. There's bank holiday in CAD. There's a Chinese one news, but nothing of significance. From Tuesday, the market begins to get into the business. So we have the CPI report from Tuesday. So we have CPI reports on Tuesday. Very high impact news for the dollar. We'll also have the GBP, basically reports, basically, which would be by 8 a.m. tomorrow. So high impact news from the pound, also high impact news from the US, right? So 2:30 p.m. We expect a CPI report. And then on Wednesday, we also have high impact news from the Aussie, from the yen, won, from the dollar. And then on Thursday, we also have unemployment change, and unemployment claims from the Aussie. So the key ones here for the week for me are the CPI reports, okay? So CPI reports, the Aussie wage price index, and then on Wednesday, we also have the PPI, right, and also retail sales. And then on Thursday, the unemployment claim from the Aussie, and then on Friday, the retail sale from the US. So basically, those are the high impact news to keep in mind as you go into positions. Now, remember, I don't trade the news. I don't trade the news. We just pay attention to it so we can figure out areas to just probably stay away from the markets or not expose ourselves to risk. Okay, so let's jump straight to GBPUSD. So for last week, I think for our last week, I mentioned, I told you guys a very similar thing, GBPUSD. So we had this. So right now, what I'm seeing is some sort of accumulation, right? If I go back like so, you'd see that GBPUSD was very bullish, and then we broke bearish on the weekly time frame with this break here. We first broke daily bearish and then we broke weekly bearish. Now I kind of anticipated the price should just want to continue to break down. For the reason that, well, if we go up to the weekly time frame here, if we look at the weekly charts here, you'd see that we had this break to the upside, we had a secondary break to the upside, and then we had this third break to the upside. So with that anticipation, we're like, well, we needed to either continue to hold this low and push higher, or if we break down, probably we want to see, probably price wants to come back and retest somewhere like here before maybe continuing the move upward, because I feel long term, this high here is the liquidity target long term. However, on the daily chart, on the 4-hour time frame, price began to make bullishness, began to show bullishness within here, which is the reason why I kind of shifted away from the bearishness and started to watch for bullish price actions, and we got that move. So if I go back to the daily charts here, you'd see that we began to break bullish, right? So this is where we came from. Basically, I'm just do this from this high, right, to this low, right? Basically, then to this low actually, and then this high to this low, and then we broke this high, making our first break of structure, and then we made a higher low, and then we broke this high again. So notice how we've made break one, we'll also make the break two. This is strong for the buyers, and right now I cannot in good conscience say that buyers are not stepping in. And from last week, I also, when I talked about this, I mentioned at the time price was somewhere around here, and I said I'm looking for buying opportunity, but I would be anticipating that price probably wants to drop down, close this imbalance, and then begin to push up. Now you can see what price is doing. Price pushed back down, came back into this area, and just as you can see clearly, price is beginning to push back up. Now, right now, what do you think my anticipation is? Well, this high here is what I would tag as my liquidity target. This is the target liquidity that I anticipate price want to get to. So we might see this happen this week, it might be next week, but this is my anticipation right now that price wants to probably come back up here. Now, so the question is, so now I understand the direction I want to be trading towards, and now the question is, you know, it's now down to you based on your system, based on the time frame you trade, and then, you know, deciding on how you participate in it. You know, somebody might be like a daily trader and decides to, you know, use this pin bar here as the entry criteria, place a buy, stop loss just below it, you know, and go after this high. You know, that's one way to trade. You know, it's all down to your system. We've identified direction. It's now down to how we want to probably play the move. But let's drop down a little bit. And go into a smaller time frame, which in this case would be the 1 hour time frame. So looking at the 1 hour time frame, so most of you know that I was able to get involved in buy position here. I took a buy position here that ended up in a loss. This one ended up giving me, I think, about 7 RR in total. I had a -1 here. Then I decided, you know, when price began to break down on the smaller time frame, I began to take some sell trades. Now, these were smaller time frame sells. And I closed most of those positions here. I took a buy here, which ended up in a loss, and I've not done anything on this market since this point. So I've not traded this, I've not done anything here. I was just waiting for price to come back toward this area, and then I was hoping that price begins to show bullishness. Now, you would notice that the bullishness has somewhat begun to come in. So if we just track price here, you'd see that we were making from high, right? We're making low, making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? You get the drill, lower high, lower lows, basically lower low, lower high. So we just kept making lower highs and lower low up until this point. So we made a high, we broke down, we made a new high, and we broke down again, right? And here. So right now we just broke up once, and then we broke up twice. So price has made 2 breaks to the upside. And now, well, look, I'm now beginning to, I'm now interested, right? I'm not interested in buy opportunity. Now, you see how this area is quite important. I identified this area to you guys in one of our classes where I said, price probably want to close this imbalance. You can see I had this area highlighted. Okay, this was on the smaller time frame. But you can use, basically, you could use this whole area or this week here. So this week is good. This is good enough for me, right? Based on the way I like to look at, and price came into here, tapped that zone perfectly. So this is an SND zone, right? An imbalance, and then price is reacting from there. So this is good enough for me. And in my anticipation, I want to see price come up here. So in terms of movement, this is, you know, there's a lot of room to the upside. You know, this is what, you know, about 100, just call it 200 pips. But I don't really care in terms of pips because it's all about risk to reward ratio for me. Okay. Now, so right now I am bullish on GU, right? I'm bullish on GU, and how you can be looking to trade this. So just quickly following price, you know, from this area we began to make breaks to the top side, higher highs and higher lows, and higher highs and higher lows and higher highs. So this is the most recent low, right? That was formed based on this 15-minute time frame. So what you can do now is, now understand that, you know, we've made with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, basically this would be 5, 6, 7. So we've made about 6, 7 breaks to the upside. Even if price breaks down and continues to move up, that would also be fine in my books, right? Especially on the 1 hour time frame. So if I go up to the 1 hour charts here and show you, you know, expectations. So my expectation now is that price should continue to go up, right? But I understand that even if price breaks back down, you know, even if price breaks back down and does something like this, I'm also interested in buying. Or even if it does something like this, I'm also interested in buying. But right now, from where it is, I'm just going to focus on the buy opportunities because that's what makes the most logical sense. So let's say on the 15-minute chart, you can look at something like this, where the price comes into here like this, you can simply trade this like so, and essentially look to go after those highs. Now, obviously, you want to manage the trade if price begins to move your way, because obviously that's a sensible thing to do, okay? Because, you know, so this will be something that I'll probably be interested in, you know, I'm interested in trading based on this 15-minute time frame. looking for the buys in this one. So if price comes down into here, price comes down into here, I might go down to the 5-minute or the 1-minute chart and look for confirmation. I might just, decide to just get involved based on the pending order. So it depends on how price gets here. So price gets here, I'll look for buys. And then remember to also, managing your trade is one important aspect of trading, where because sure, price could come in here and begin to break. You want to be able to take partials because this can happen. You don't want to give back all the profits you've made, because this is, there are two games in the trading. One is trading and the other part is the management of the trades. Okay, so GBPUSD, I'm looking for buys. Euro USD, kind of similar situation with GBPUSD. Where's Euro USD? Yeah, so Euro USD, let me just go to the daily charts here. Zoom in a little bit. Now, GBPUSD, just like I mentioned in the last class, is cleaner, right? GBPUSD is much cleaner than Euro USD, because as regards Euro USD, this high here is this high here is the break that we need to see for it to be even bullish on the daily time frame. So we're not even bullish yet on the daily time frame. A break above here would make us bullish on the daily time frame. However, GBPUSD has broken bullish twice, which makes it a cleaner setup in my books to look for opportunity to trade. But nonetheless, the intermediate structure within price here is also good. So let me use a clean chart so that we can all see. Yeah, so the intermediate structure within here, let's take this out now. But let's leave that there. Okay, so the intermediate structure within this is still actually bearish. So wait for a break above this high here would give buyers the upper hand. But if you're looking to trade the intermediate structure of this is actually bullish. Okay, so then gold, let's jump over to gold, XAUUSD. So XAUUSD is one that I spoke about XAUUSD. We spoke about in our last weekly market outlook class, and I made mention of the fact that this is the target that I think price wants to get to, right? There's not change, but you can see that I highlighted certain areas here that I anticipate that. So at the time, price was making this, so the 4-hour protected low, which I was like, if it holds, well, that's good and fine. Now let me even go down there. I took a trade here. There was a trade here I took here, which made me very handsome profits based on the 4-hour structure, right? You can see how price held this low here. So after we had this candle, there was a trade I took within here. I think it was around here, which ran about 7. In total, it was like 10 RR, but I only made about 7 or 6 RR based on the way I passed out that specific trade, okay? But however, when price broke down here, I've walked away from gold. So I've not done anything on gold. I'm not interested in touching it now. I don't want to be a seller in this market. As it stands, I want to wait for the buying pressure to come in, right? And you can see the areas are highlighted. So this area here, areas, price is very close to it. Is I want to see price drop here, and then I want to look for buying opportunity here. So for the week, you can take screenshots if you wish. I want to look for, if price drops into this zone and begins to break up, I'll be okay looking for buying opportunity to take it to this high, okay? Now, if price doesn't respect this area, let's say price does something like this and slice through, I'll still be okay looking for buying opportunity here, okay? So either we look for buying opportunity here or we look for buying opportunity here, but any of these two areas, I'm comfortable looking for buying opportunities if we get confirmation. So as per our last class on Friday, where I talked about counter trend line, using counter trend line as confirmation, this is one where you can apply that. You could just have a counter trend line like so, where if price taps into this area, let's say price taps here, breaks above, retest and begin to move up, you can use that as a confirmation to buy, get involved in the buy, look to take profits, right? So gold, gold is one where I look for buy opportunity here or here. Okay, so those are 3 quick analysis on EU, GU, and XAUUSD. So let me also talk about a few, let's see, CADCHF. So CADCHF, some of you remember this move, this trade here. At the time when price was down here, I mentioned the fact that my anticipation is that price wants to, I probably want to see price come up here. But first of all, I want to see price begin to break bullish, right? So and we began to have that bullishness coming on the 4-hour time frame. You'll see that even clearer, right? So that's the 4-hour time frame here. You see how price begin to break. On our cutting edge trading room, some of you who joined me in those classes, you know that I was buying from down here, right? So it's, you know, some of you who joined me in the classes, those of you who joined the weekly market classes, you know that, you know, I was looking for buying opportunity within this low here based on the overall context of the market. I'm still holding this particular trade. I think I have 2 trades open on this one. I had several trades. For example, this one has closed me out at break even. Obviously, I've taken partial, right? No, it didn't close me out at break even. I closed the trade here when price begins to break down. But I'm still bullish on this one, right? And I was anticipating for price to hold this area. I was anticipating for price to basically hold this low, right? But we didn't see that happen. Price broke below it and then it's pushing back up. So it's still absorption in my book, right? I'll still assume that price wants to continue to break higher. So what I want to see now is for price to take out this high. So if we break this high, I'll look for another buy to continue to take price up. Remember, the overall target is the the daily highs, which is all the way up here. Okay, so this would be the overall liquidity targets for me, based on the way I look at this particular market. Okay, so yeah, CADCHF, I'm bullish, looking for confirmation to get into more trades, right? I want to see price break above this high, and then continue to look for how to get involved in more trades on the 15 minutes or the 1-hour time frame. Okay, NZDCAD. Yeah, so NZDCAD, same thing. We had this Y curve accumulation schematic here. Price was a beautiful Y curve accumulation schematic, and price came back. We tested previous areas here, and right now, so price, you can see how price is basically pulling away from here, but I'm still anticipating that price wants to get here. So right now, what I'm watching for on the 1-hour time frame here is for the buying pressure to get back in. So what I want to see here is for price to, at this particular time, I want to see price take out this high. So this high is key. No, not that one, just one here. I want to see price break above this high. So if we break above this high, and we began to pull back, I would look for buying opportunity, or, if price breaks above and let's say ranges a little bit, I'll look for that buy stop above the high and look to take it. Right, so bullish on NZDCAD, bullish on CADCHF, waiting for bullishness on gold. Basically, I'm waiting for bullishness on all of these ones. The only one that I'm bullish right now that I can begin to look for trade on is on GU, right? Well, for all of these other pairs I mentioned, I'm looking for the bullish opportunities on them. CADCHF, NZDCAD, GBPUSD, EURUSD, XAUUSD, that's good. And also, basically, USDJPY. So USDJPY has been the same thing. I've been bullish on this one, still bullish. You'd also remember this one. I think some of you Collins too, you should remember I mentioned USDJPY, and I said, well, a lot of people would be looking at this market and trying to sell it, and then they'll be looking to, because the market is stretched, and they'll look to sell every single thing. However, I'm going to just continue to look for the buy for the bullishness to come in, and we saw that here. We had this big bullish candle, price began to sell off, and people, a lot of people will think, oh, this is where it ends, right? Even as we speak right now, a lot of people will be looking at this and saying, this is a strong resistance, price will break down here. If anything, I'm still looking for opportunities to buy from here, right? So if I go down to, let's say the 1-hour time frame, if price, let me even drop down further. Okay, so even from where we are now, this is, not a bad rate to consider, it's not a bad rate to consider, and just look to clear the liquidities that rest at the top there, Yeah, so USDJPY, I'm bullish on this one. I like the idea of looking for buys. The market is very bullish, or bullish on basically all time frames, and anticipation is we'll just continue to see this bullishness be held. Okay, so yeah, I think that's a very quick rundown on our analysis on basically on our outlook. For the week, we have looked at quite a number of pairs, and I've explained to you exactly where and how you might be looking to to trade them. Obviously, remember, this is all my own personal perspective. You want to obviously ensure that you do your own research, especially if you're trading on a live account. It's the market setup is quite clean right now. My favorite is USDJPY, GBPUSD. I'm just waiting for the bullishness to come in on gold. I also like CADCHF. I just want to see price break the 1 hour high. Okay, so yeah, that's our quick rundown, our quick 30 minutes or thereabouts rush on our market outlook for the week, and then yeah, we'll see how we go from there. So any questions? When you guys enjoy the class, just quickly drop in your questions so I can take them before we call it a wrap. Hey, so remember, this will be uploaded on my YouTube channel, so you can obviously go back and rewatch it while you're there. If you're watching from YouTube, make sure to leave a like. If you enjoy the content, just feel free to leave a comment as well and subscribe to the channel. Okay. So thank you everyone for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next class.